Welcome to another episode of While the Kids Are Sleeping.
I'm Nat Zara.
I'm Incisive. You can voice note me now.
Oh, you accept them now?
Guys, you can now voice note me to your heart's content.
That's so funny that you've announced that.
You can voice note me, I don't care.
What's changed?
See, I haven't changed. I haven't upgraded. I'll tell you what has changed.
What?
The beautiful thing we know as technology.
Let's
Technology has changed.
Let's hear it.
And my good friend, Sam, shout out Sam.
Yeah.
Because she knows of my...
She loves a voice note.
Everyone knows how much I hate voice notes. But my good friend Sam sent me over a notification she got, which basically let her know you can now have Siri transcribe your voice notes.
Oh.
So when someone sends you a voice note, once you enable it, you can just click a down arrow next to the voice note and it types up what they said.
Oh, nice.
Without any playback, it just types what they said. Everyone's happy. You can send your voice note. I can read it back.
Oh, lovely.
Send me all your voice notes. So
that.
FYI guys, to do that, update your WhatsApp. Make sure your Siri's on and you just go to settings in WhatsApp, chats, and then voice message transcripts. Turn that on. You can transcribe your voice notes. It's like a new day. Voice note me to your heart's content. Go on. I won't listen, but I'll read.
Yeah, good for you.
So yeah. So for this podcast, it's it feels like it's off the cuff, but actually, I do have to do quite a bit of research. With all these random facts, I try and do a lot of research for the podcast.
You do?
Yeah? But my research is flawed.
Right.
Because it's based on the internet. The internet is my source.
Okay.
So what I try and do, and what we always tell you, do not believe anything you hear on the internet, including the podcast, this podcast. Do not believe anything. Check it out. When you check it 3 times, 3 different sources. So that's what I try and do. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is they're now changing history in real time. Because there was a website before called like archive.org or something, and it was like a time machine of the internet. So it kept a copy of every website and every change made to the website. So you could go to the BBC website, then you could click on December 2022 and you would see that version.
Okay.
I don't know who funded it, if it was a charity thing, but they had to shut down. And that was actually where, I don't know if you remember it, Dat Piff. Do you remember Dat Piff?
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
It was like a music website. That was where Dat Piff was being held. That's all lost. All those things are lost.
Gosh.
So many things. And a lot of history on the internet's lost now. So you've only got what people present you presently.
Yeah.
The most recent example of that being a flaw is when Alicia Keys...
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
...did the Super Bowl. She hit a bum note live.
She did, which is fine. It happens.
Which is fine. She hit an awfully bum note live.
It was terrible.
But on the YouTube version, by the time they uploaded it, the day after, they had changed the bum note in post-production.
Yeah.
And she sang it perfectly.
She did.
And anyone watching now will see that historic event, there was no mistake.
Yeah. What else happened recently?
Well, that's the main thing, but so I just want to get across the internet's flawed, and one of the most trusted places we search,
I know, is the internet.
On the internet is Wikipedia, but
I don't take it as gospel on Wikipedia.
Okay, so if you were going to search a celebrity, you're watching a film, you've seen this person, how old are they? You're going to Wikipedia.
Yeah, I would go to Wikipedia, but I'm just saying every single thing in Wikipedia, I'm not going to be like, that must be true, because it's just the people that update Wikipedia, isn't it?
Right, and that's what some people don't know, some people know. Wikipedia is just open source. You could create a Wikipedia account now and add to Beyonce's biography. They might not accept you, but they might. And the minute thing, they will just accept the change. Do
you think they'll let you do it for Beyonce? There must be some restrictions on those
I think sometimes you can restrict it, but sometimes you can't. That's the problem with Wikipedia. So, some examples of Wikipedia just being completely inaccurate. Somebody uploaded something about the Napolean Conflict, which was a 17th century war between Portugal and Italy. Completely fake. No such thing.
No
such thing. Students were doing research, finding this Napolean Conflict. Can't even say it. In the longest running hoax was 200 articles on Wikipedia. Was written by someone called Jar Axel Artemis, and they wrote these articles on Russian history, full of completely fake battles, generals, noble families.
Oh,
and
gosh.
these 200 articles existed on Wikipedia for a decade.
Oh my gosh.
Historians cited them in their research. People used them in their PhDs.
No.
Because it was on Wiki. All fake.
Oh gosh.
And then the funniest example I can see is in 2015, a man added it. So there's a duo pop group or whatever group, I don't know what they are. They're called Peking Duck. A man added himself on their Wikipedia as their stepbrother. He went to the concert. He spoke to security guards, showed them that he was the stepbrother on Wikipedia, and he got backstage.
And he got in.
He got backstage. Do not believe the internet, guys. Do not believe anything on the internet.
Oh my god.
Check it 3 times, 3 different sources, ideally. So yeah, that's crazy. And then it's not just the internet though. Upon further research, even before the internet, there have been historic accounts that have been changed. So Napoleon Bonaparte, you know who Napoleon Bonaparte is? Do you know what the Napoleon Complex is?
The short man's
Right, yeah.
complex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
short man complex. Napoleon was actually not short.
No, yeah, he was. I'm sure he was. He was a small man.
This is like
That's what they
Alicia
say.
Keys sung the song perfectly.
Why did you say he wasn't sure?
Napoleon, I mean, he wasn't a tall man, but he was 5'7", which in the UK apparently is average. He wasn't tall, but he wasn't short. He was 5'7". Now what happened was the British propaganda mocked him because they were just against him in the tabloids, everything, whatever they used, they mocked him for one. And when he died, he was reported in the autopsy as being 5'2", which we can say is a short man.
Yeah.
But that was done in France. And there's a difference in the French and English metric system,
Oh, really?
which led everyone to think that he was 5'2". But actually, 5'2" in France is about 5'7" in England.
Really?
Napoleon wasn't short. Napoleon Complex is just inaccurately coined.
Wow.
Interesting, isn't it?
Very.
So, with all this fakeness happening, the question of the day is, when and where do you feel most like yourself?
So the first thing that comes to my mind,
Right.
and this doesn't mean I don't feel like myself around other people,
Yeah.
but the first thing that came to my mind was, and I don't know, maybe I had a thought about it a while ago, but I've got some friends, they're family friends, but also we went to the same primary school, so we've known each other like our entire life, basically.
Yeah.
And when I'm with them, especially if we're in a group, or I feel like, I don't know, I don't know, I just feel like me.
Okay.
I don't understand, I don't know why.
Not naming names, just a group.
I can name names.
Go ahead.
So if I'm around Carlton, Andrew and Mikkel.
Yeah. Okay. This is like who you grew
These
up with.
are like,
Play Center, old school.
Yeah, like everything.
Yeah,
from the very beginning of just like life.
Yeah.
And so I think maybe when I'm with them, I don't know, it's like maybe they just know.
Because they know you.
They know you, you know them.
Before it all, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So I do feel, I feel like when I'm around them, I feel like, But it doesn't mean I don't feel like that around other people. Of course I do. I've got friends and family and whatever.
Yeah.
Not necessarily even a different way, but maybe it's like, you know, when you're with like say when you were younger and you went to play out, you would be a slightly different person, but not a different person. You're not being fake, but you'd be different to when you're at home with your parents.
Yeah, so when I looked at the question, I first thought, what do you mean? I always feel like myself. But actually, at work, you're definitely not most like yourself. You're the work version of you. I know Nat Zara's got a specific work voice. And sometimes if I call that the right time, she'll talk to me in the work voice. And I'll be like, bruv, why are you talking to me in your work voice? Turn that off. So at work, you're definitely not your truest self most of the time.
Yeah.
Just because you're dealing with people, I guess. At home, when we come home initially, we're mummy and daddy. I don't even call you by your name. I call you mum. Where's mummy?
Yeah.
When the kids are around.
Yeah, true.
And you call me daddy, so I don't feel like myself then. So I guess it's not fake, but we do put on extra layers or when we're around different people in different environments.
In certain environments.
Yeah, there is a different face. There's a different face. There's a different person. So when and where do you feel most like yourself? You said initially it was when you're around your old school.
I think so. I feel like it. It's just, I don't know. You just feel like Like when we had that conversation the other day about one of the games we played in school.
Yeah, and he was on the phone.
Instantly, I was like, no, sorry, I need to call Carlton because he will know exactly what I'm talking about. And before I even finished describing the game, he answered.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, shout out to Carlton. My answer.
Yeah.
It's really funny. It sounds like a crazy answer, but you do feel most like yourself in probably a couple of scenarios. One of the scenarios, I guess, is like when the evening's done and we're just in the sitting room, everything's done and it's just us. Mm-hmm. That's one of the scenarios. But another scenario I thought, really, everything happens here is when I'm in the shower alone. When I'm in the shower alone and I can just, because I think these extra faces and extra layers you got to put on is for people. It's just for the maintenance of relationships and just dealing with people. You don't have to change yourself, but you have to. It's like relationships. Everything is like accommodation. It's giving. It's taking. It's compromising. It's all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Just in normal life.
Yeah.
So when I'm in the it's just me and my thoughts, and no one there.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's a great answer in terms of like, oh, what, you just don't want anyone around. But I think that's
because that's like, that's not even really answering the question.
That's when I feel most like myself. I'm just myself. I'm just talking to myself. I'm coming up with random questions that I'm going to ask in the podcast later. I'm just myself. And also when I'm in here making music by myself as well.
Okay.
I think it is a very like, for me, it's very like a solo when I could just be me. Like I don't even have to talk to anyone. I don't have to hold conversation or hold silence, hold space with anyone.
Yeah.
I'm just myself. So that's my answer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think I had another point. I don't know if I'm gonna say it. Yeah. Well, quickly. I'm just gonna quickly say it. I want to introduce a new thing for the podcast. A new sort of
what new thing? Okay.
Well, I mentioned it to you. It's like a new series within the podcast. It's called Upon Reflection. Upon Reflection, we are going to, because we answer these questions off the cuff sometimes, and funnily enough, we listen to the podcast after. We always listen to the podcast on the day it comes out with you lot, and we laugh at the podcast like it's not us. Like I listen to it in the car.
I literally listen to our podcast,
right. But sometimes when I'm listening to it, I listen to the answers that I've given, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I could have added to that, or.
Yeah, or and things do change. Sometimes you might think, do you know what?
Change.
I don't know if I'd feel like that right now.
Right, things do change, exactly. So the series is called Upon Reflection. So the first Upon Reflection, just quickly. Okay. It's a nice long episode for you. Shout out to the Spotify crew. We're back.
Yeah.
Is this Spotify crew episode?
Yeah, I think this is Spotify.
Guys, we're approaching episode 100 as well.
I think
this is 95 or something like that.
We need a special guest.
We need a special guest for episode 100. But anyway, Upon Reflection, I was listening to the other day to we asked the question about what chapter of your life is this?
Okay, that was only the other day.
It was just the other day, yeah.
Oh, right,
I just
yeah.
to the other day, so I'm just going to touch on that. And we had really great answers. Yours was a really nice answer. What was it called again? Your chapter?
I can't remember what we called it, but it's basically living in what I'd prayed for.
The life that you prayed for.
Yeah.
Whatever. And my one was foot down.
Oh yeah.
Foot down. Fourth gear, foot down.
Yeah,
like
that was it. Yeah.
And I listened and it did not cheesy, but like you could roll your eyes. Like look at these perfect answers.
Oh
Their
no,
lives
did
are
it
so
sound
nice.
cheesy?
But because sometimes, like of late as well, sometimes my chapter has been WTF. Like
absolutely.
Yeah, it's not every day. Fourth gear, foot
FML
down.
some days.
FML.
I'm not gonna lie.
FFS. Sometimes the chapter can change.
God. Like WTF.
WTF.
Like, all of them.
Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
I'm not gonna lie, most days.
Sometimes the chapter's just bare question marks. Yeah. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I just want to make it clear because again, people sometimes you always put on the brightest face on the internet.
Yeah.
All the filters. But yeah, at the time and overall, I guess the initial answers were the initial answers. But I want to make it clear. Sometimes
it is
some days,
it's
some
not
weeks,
some perfect over here.
Some
guys.
months are like
me.
WTF chapter. So that was that.
Yeah, that is a very, very valid point.
Yeah, so turn a new page. Episode.